Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Welcome to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. I'm Kelly Mesher-Collins with the Diocese of Des Moines. On today's show, we're visiting with Dr. Adreain Henry, the new president of Mercy College of Health Sciences here in Des Moines. Prior to Mercy College, Dr. Henry served as a chief academic officer and associate provost for Hallmark University in San Antonio, Texas. He was also formerly the dean of arts, sciences, graduate studies, and research. Dr. Henry is passionate about the ministry of healing as well as healthcare delivery and its impact on all stakeholders. But before we get to today's interview, let's find out what's on the Bishop's mind.
Really looking forward to sharing Dr. Henry with our listeners as I've come to know him over the last 9 months. Very charismatic fellow. Mercy College won the lottery in terms of being able to recruit him here. But we'll get to him in a minute. We're into May already. Where did that happen? The month of Mary. And, of course, we start off with St. Joseph the Workers. So our hearts and prayers are all with those who make their living by the sweat of their brow, including our farmers and others as well. And so those who are foster fathers or in any way guiding young people, protecting them, offering them their integrity and mentorship, we ask God's blessing upon them in a special way, too. The Pope made a quick visit to Hungary, a country, with some kind of, interesting political history, but he offered a witness and again trying to encourage to represent and receive immigrants in that way. I'll be in a special way mindful now, a new role for me. I've been invited to be part of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops Committee on Domestic Justice and Human Development. So obviously concerned with poverty issues, life issues, trying to provide a place for the vulnerable, those who would otherwise be on the periphery. And so I think it'll be a new learning experience for me, but hopefully bringing some of my experience and perspective working with Archbishop Boris Gudziak, the Eparch of Philadelphia, in that. And, of course, we're still in the thick of confirmation season in so many ways. I was fortunate to be out in Council Bluffs with the St. Patrick's community and, of course, a large cohort there. And we'll be at St. Boniface and Waukee on Sunday. Lots of opportunities. And then, of course, as the Drake St. Catherine Student Center community, that parish, looking forward to their finals. So anything we can do to ease their anxiety and stress, we'll offer the blessing again upon them on the brains and all that they're about. So a marvelous thing going on. But and then love is in the air. I think this might be my last Loris-connected wedding. I'm actually going to be at Christ the King Chapel, not at Loris, but at St. Ambrose University tomorrow to celebrate the wedding of Cara Marie Bolliger and Chet Beans. Cara, long patient with Chet, and finally she's in her late 30s, mid-30s, and Chet, kind of a physicist and engineer in many ways. So they'll be married, and it'll be a great chance to seal their love and kind of those connections from the ministry of the past. So you feel a little bit of spiritual fatherhood in accompanying some of these folks. But as we look to having Dr. Henry on, a man we spoke of, his inaugural day was a grand day in the life of that college, I think in the life of this Des Moines community. And April 14th, Friday of the octave of Easter, we started off in the best of ways. We had Mass at St. Ambrose Cathedral, and I wasn't going to canonize him there, but some of the things I said at that moment, thinking about that reading of Peter jumping in the water as Jesus appears to cook breakfast for those disciples who've not had the best of luck fishing. But Peter, I think, that's pivotal figure for us in our faith and for the church, one who knows that without God, he'll fall flat on his face, and is quick to respond to those appeals made of him to sustain others and help them flourish. But a man who knows in his own intimate company with Christ, his own faith life, has discovered the truth about himself. Only then can we, I think, really truly lead and heal others and withstand the kind of scrutiny of public opinion, but to give witness with a charismatic capacity, sure to win many overs to the mission entrusted to him. So I think many of us have found Dr. Henry to be such a man. He's not the Messiah of Mercy College, but he did come into town driving a red 4x4 F-150 like some Texas Ranger on a mission from which he'll not be deterred. So he's not yet found a seed corn cap, but he's not hanging his hat on past laurels, but his pedigree, which we'll hear a little bit about, but a man who in his own humility, I think, has been a quick study of what Catholic identity and mission mean and the resources of that and the marriage of faith and reason, but one who's passionate about the ministry of healing, as you noted, Kelly, as well as healthcare delivery and its impact on all stakeholders. So this is a man who will minister in the name of the church as that whole community does. So looking forward to a conversation.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen on Iowa Catholic Radio and Spirit Catholic Radio Network.
Thank you to our business partner, Chip In for Charity, the St. Vincent de Paul Golf Fundraiser to fight hunger, Thursday, May 25th at Copper Creek Golf Course, 10 a.m. shotgun start. For registration and sponsorship opportunities, visit svdpdsm.org.
Iowa Catholic Radio would like to thank our business partner, Elite Glass and Metal LLC in Johnston, a full-service glass and glazing contractor serving Des Moines and surrounding areas. New construction, existing projects, and residential. Learn more at eliteglassandmetal.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by CTO. What great news for donors to the Catholic Tuition Organization. You now receive 75% of your donation back in Iowa tax credits. Your support has helped thousands of students attend our Catholic schools. Best gift ever. Online, ctoiowa.org. At CTO, the bottom line, it's for the kids and their future.
Welcome back to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. On today's show, we're visiting with Dr. Adreain Henry, the new president of Mercy College of Health Sciences here in Des Moines. Prior to this, Dr. Henry served as a chief academic officer and associate provost for Hallmark University in San Antonio, Texas. Dr. Henry is passionate about the ministry of healing as well as healthcare delivery and its impact on all stakeholders.
Dr. Henry, welcome to the show. And I know you're a friend of Iowa Catholic Radio and Spirit Catholic Radio already, but to indulge us here, the week after this show of Mercy College Health Sciences commencement, the first commencement exercises that you went through, and on the heels weeks after your inauguration. And so I hope you feel like the Des Moines community, the larger community, and the ecumenical community has welcomed you in many ways.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, very good. And our listeners can't see, but you're wearing this very intriguing tie that is inspiring, that has Jesus on the front of praying, and Jesus in a posture of prayer, praying to his heavenly Father. So marvelous,
That's
inspiring.
right.
You're giving witness in not so subtle ways. So it's marvelous. But the pedigree and all that you're about, the show is making it personal. We always like to learn a little bit more about the man or the woman that we're speaking to, the young person that we might be speaking to. But a son of the South,
That's right.
very
That's
much.
Right.
And, there's a Texas, but really more Mississippi, and that would be your roots. And tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So, yes, I am originally from Mississippi, born and raised into a single-parent home, right? So my father raised 6 children, and so we were labeled in Mississippi as being dysfunctional because we didn't have a mother in the home, and so things were challenging for us, So I understand what it's like to come from the margins, to be on food stamps, to have assistance from the government cheese. So I understand all of those parameters, and I understand that it really takes a village to really raise a child. And so my father, very, very religious. And so we went to his brother's church, and we just was what he was concerned with, that we lived a life that Christ wanted us to live. So very important to my father and his children. And so growing up in that arrangement, father was, being a part of affiliated with the church, he wanted us all to be musically inclined. So he forced us all to take piano lessons, right? So that wasn't for us growing up. I mean, we thought it was boring to have to play the piano, but we had to appease our father. And because we didn't have a mother in the home, Bishop, our dad was very stern. And so when he said yes or he said no, it was always going to be no. And so there was no one to kind of soften that to make it and turn it into a yes. But growing up, he really prided himself raising 4 boys and 2 girls that we must graduate high school. In fact, he built a mantle inside the home that says that he would tell us our marching orders was, you owe me, talking about himself, you owe him a high school diploma. And so growing up in that environment, I never once thought about college. Never, ever heard my father mention the word college. All he wanted for his kids was that we would just graduate from high school. And so that's what my siblings before me would do. We would graduate, and then we would give him the diploma. He placed it on the mantle, and that meant job well done. You've met my benchmark.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. And then they would just move out. And so that was part of my journey as well. I just wanted to make sure that I satisfied his goal. And my parents, neither of my parents or my father is now deceased, but my mother, neither went to college. And so, again, college wasn't something that was talked about. It was really just focusing on graduating high school, move out of Mississippi. It was really, if you're from Mississippi, you want to escape the South. So my siblings above me and I was my father's baby, my siblings above me graduated high school and moved to Atlanta. And something that happened differently was my brother that's 2 years older than me. He did something different. He broke that mold by joining the military. He joined the Navy, and I've always lived in my brother's shadow, and so I wanted to be just like him. So for me, when I graduated high school, it wasn't going to Atlanta, it was going into the Navy and going into
Your dad was not a military man.
Father was.
Even though his comportment suggests maybe at times, yes.
Yeah, so we didn't have that military background. No one in the family, our extended family, had gone to the military. So it was something new and different. But my brother, being the tougher of the two of us, my father felt that, oh, yes, he's tough enough for the military, but looked at me and says, oh, no, you're not tough enough to go into the military. And it wasn't until I graduated high school when my father told me to go to college. And that was the first time I ever heard him utter the words to me and told me to go to college in the form of refusing to sign my enlistment paperwork to join the Navy because you're 17 and you need that parental authorization to join the military. And so I found myself in college, and that's when I really discovered that I had this affinity for learning. And so that's part of my background, and I hope that was helpful to the listening audience.
Absolutely, and of course, then ultimately you were able to enlist in the, and became a commissioned officer. And,
absolutely,
and that this dovetailed well with the opportunity for further education, and obviously, ultimately, in the medical profession.
Absolutely. So, something interesting, Bishop, was when I was in the fourth grade. Again, reminding the listening audience that I didn't have that mother in the home. And so my oldest sister, who was only 8 years older than me, she thought she was my mother, and she would spank me like she was my mother as well. But my sister said something.
As an older sibling, I have no problem with this.
There you go.
I can relate to you.
That's what I'm talking about. I got some help here. So being the youngest of the six, so I do have 3 other siblings, so it's a total of 9 kids, and so I have 8 siblings. So my father raised 6 and my mother raised 3. So my oldest sister, 4th grade, says to me that when I was down and out because my brother was continuing to shine and be more popular than I was. And my sister told me then, spoke something into my life, and she says, you will be the first doctor in the family. Now, at that point in time, I would say something like, what does she know, right? But today I credit her as being a childhood visionary to plant something so deep and so profound into your younger sibling heart. So it was when I started, and I started college against my will. It was forced for me to go to college. So my dad, and I did tell him at the time when he told me I couldn't join the military, I told him, I said, Dad, you've just ruined my life. So imagine a 17-year-old telling their father that you ruined the life. But I had to come back and tell him countless times that he really enhanced my life by telling me to go to college.
I don't know any 17-year-olds who would say that to their parents.
So I'm smiling.
Yes, and I have to add, so being from Mississippi, there was always sir and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, and yes, sir.
The gentility of it all, yeah.
Yes, so I did add the sir. I said, sir, you just ruined my life, sir, and I added sir at the end of it. But yeah, so it was when I was in college. So because my father had made us take piano lesson, we played for the church, I said, well, what am I going to major in? What am I going to do? I don't know anything about this landscape, right? And so I was Pell eligible on Pell grants because we didn't have the resources, and then scholarships as well. And so I majored in music. That was a natural for me. And quickly what I discovered is that I did better in my sciences courses than I did in my music, which was very, very strange.
Plato and Pythagoras would be happy. Yeah, the whole mathematical foundation. Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. So I learned quickly that I needed to change my major or add a major. So I majored in music as well as pre-med. And that's when I just developed this, and I realized that I had this affinity and that I was a scholar for learning, and the journey just continued from there. So today when people talk with me, someone who initially didn't plan to go to college wasn't even an afterthought. I never, ever went on a college campus tour while I was in college because I was set to join the military, in fact, the Navy. And so today I stand before you all, and I have 1 associate degree, 2 bachelor's degrees, 2 master's degrees, a medical degree where I still practice medicine, and a 2nd doctorate degree in higher education management. And people say to me, wow, you're an overachiever. And I say right back to you, Kelly and Bishop, that wait until you hear my story. Because how I see it today is I lacked mentorship. So I'm passionate. I'm all in about students and student success and giving back. So I believe my role today is to mentor all who will listen to me.
Marvelous. And, that unfolding and that pedigree, and, to say you're an overachiever, to me, strikes me as kind of some condescension, because the fire inside you and your soul and all that you're about, obviously an officer in the military, but the doctorate of education, higher education management, doctor of optometry, master of business administration, master of arts in business. Yeah, pretty good resume for a college president, I would think, to have all of those.
Yes.
And just how the musical and the scientific, the cultivation of your soul in such a deep way, and then obviously the ranking academic officer at Hallmark University, and then you became aware of the Mercy College of Health Sciences opening, and so Iowa, you're like, what am I getting into? And, you and your lovely wife, Karen, was this some heartfelt conversations?
Yes, it was, Bishop. Yes, it was. It's interesting because I jokingly say now, I can say it now that, prior to making the journey or the trip to come for my first interview, I had never looked at Iowa as even a vacation destination. And so I say that jokingly because people say the same thing to me about Mississippi. Like, yeah, I don't plan to vacation down in Mississippi. But let me tell you, being a Southerner, I know a thing or two about Southern hospitality. And I have been so impressed with the people of Iowa, the access to people. I know at the inauguration, the Governor Kim Reynolds spoke at our inauguration, and the access points that I've been able to just engage and just have the conversations with her and be able to ask her myself, hey, I'm Henry. Will you like to speak at my inauguration? And so I just think that's just rare. And you don't find that in a lot of communities. So Iowa has embraced me. I'd never heard of that word or the saying Iowa nice. But I'm a believer in the Iowa nice. Even when it came down to moving into my neighborhood, the neighbors flood me with help and support. And that's just rare. And I think Iowa is a special place. And it's certainly been a special place, not just for me, but for my family as well. My kids have been embraced. Both of my kids are attending St. Pius. My daughter will be going to Dowling next year. And it's just been a remarkable experience for my family.
Well, thank you for the tribute to Iowans, but I think it's also, who you are as a person who just, endears yourself to people. You feel that there's an authenticity there in your warmth and yet your passion now and for Mercy College and for lifting up people in this way. And so the challenges that any higher education institution faces coming out of the pandemic in this way.
Yes.
But the way that you've had to be able to connect with students. We had the commencement last week. The diversity of the student body, I was sitting next to Joyce Lillis on the platform, and, we both on the board of directors, but just to really have that vividly before us. And so this is fulfilling a vital mission in the spirit of Mother Mary Catherine Macaulay, and that the Mercy mission is, ever more needed, essential as...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about what you just lifted, Bishop Joensen, because it's important. As higher education institution, it's important that the institution in and of itself mirror the community that it serves. So I oftentimes say I came to Iowa and even to Mercy College of Health Sciences to serve, not to be served, but to serve. And I believe that's what our Bible tells us, that even the Son of Man came to serve and to give his life a ransom for many, right? So I feel that I'm a servant first, and I'm a servant of all. And so at Mercy College, what draws me to Mercy College and why I get so excited every day when I walk on campus is because it's a calling. It's not a job. It's a calling. And my calling is to really serve our students. You know, we're dealing with aftermath of a pandemic. It has impacted everyone in ways that we can't even fathom, right? It is really wreaked a lot of havoc on families. And so our job is truly to be compassionate, to really suffer with. And so part of our values, that word compassion means we must love on our students. We must love on our faculty. And so I believe the leader, myself, must love my cabinet. I must love the students so that is translated towards all of the members of our community. So we're trying to create an environment, a culture of love, compassion, and then really ensuring that our students not only graduate. So it's one thing when our students walk across the stage, shake my hand, or fist bump me. They call me President Fist Bump. So that's one thing, but it's important for us to make sure that the students get into the career that they have come to us and that they're depending on. So our job is not finished at the graduation line. It's finished when they are licensed in their profession and they're doing the work and what they have come to us to do. So that's extremely, extremely important to me and our team at Mercy College of Health Sciences.
So that accompaniment continues, and again, you formed in a place where many non-traditional students, but as you say, with the love, you're creating a campus ethos and a community, and where people maybe don't feel that. They feel more disconnection in this way.
Right.
So we look forward to coming back with you in a moment, Dr. Henry.
We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio provided by the Sarah Vocations Ministry, including the St. Sarah Club of Des Moines and the Sarah Club of Council Bluffs. Sarah is an apostolate of the Worldwide Catholic Church dedicated to fostering and supporting priesthood and religious vocations. Sarahs strive to accomplish their mission through prayer, fellowship, and service to the bishop, priests, sisters, and all in religious formation, and in doing so to increase their own holiness. Learn more at joinsarah.org, joinserra.org. Thank you, Sarahs, for your support of Iowa Catholic Radio.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio is provided by Ashworth Vision Clinic. Complete eye exams, contact lenses, glasses, glaucoma testing, and urgent eye issues. 515-440-4610. AshworthVision.com.
Iowa Catholic Radio would like to thank our business partner, Elite Glass and Metal, LLC in Johnston, a full-service glass and glazing contractor serving Des Moines and surrounding areas. New construction, existing projects, and residential. Learn more at EliteGlassandMetal.com.
We're back with Dr. Adreain Henry, the new president of Mercy College of Health Sciences.
Thank you for remaining with us, Dr. Henry. And you talked about your sister, kind of a Deborah prophetess, kind of talking about you and what you were going to be about, one significant moment in your life. One of the things you've been entrusted to all of the Mercy faculty and community, a voda, the coin, which for those who know, suggests a kind of military practice. Could you tell us about that, and then maybe any other significant moment?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I see you with your coin there, Bishop. I, too, carry this coin with me everywhere I go. So part of a military tradition is when you've done something above and beyond the call of duty, usually a senior ranking military personnel will coin you. And it just, that recognition, that's that pat on the back. And so we've adopted that same tradition at Mercy College. And so what we've asked all of our faculty staff to do is to adopt today an attitude of service that we're going to really serve our students by what we call our VOTA coin. So the VOTA, V-O-T-A, stands for we're going to give our students our values, our opportunities, our time, as well as our attention. And that's how we're going to get them to the finish line, because we want to let our students know that they are important, that they have a calling on even their lives, and they're going to do some great work for our community. So that's important that we do that. And so we have fun with it. So the cabinet and faculty and staff know that if they should ever catch me without this coin, I owe them 2 push-ups. And so I'll always try to have my coin so that I don't have to do 2 push-ups. But I think what else is important, Bishop, is being a Catholic college. what's important for me and being the hem of the Catholic College is that we remain true to our heritage and our identity. So I was down mid-February of this year to our annual colleges and universities, the Catholic Colleges and University Conference. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they talked about, a large percentage of our students, in the 60-70% of our students, don't realize that they are attending a Catholic institution. And so, I take that to heart, being at a Catholic institution. In fact, the only Catholic higher education institution in Des Moines. So what is important for us is that if they don't know they are attending or enrolling in a Catholic institution, it's important that they know when they're leaving that they have received a Catholic education. And so that's important for me. So one of the things that I pride myself in is certainly getting the professional development that I need myself to make sure that I remain true to our identity. And another factor is bishop here. It's important that we have our bishop who sits on our board and that I have a constant communication line to the bishop. That's extremely important to me. And one of the things we have is we have these term limits that there are 3 years, three-year term limits. And I think that term limit shouldn't apply to our bishop. I think bishop should be a mainstay.
We'll have this discussion. We'll discern this together.
So
I'm only a year and a half in, so
oh my goodness!
Time.
So that means we really do appreciate you, Bishop, and your presence on our board makes all the world difference for certainly myself and for our community. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and that was an unexpected shout out. But the college itself, kind of as it came together, the consolidation of various Mercy educational institutions in 1995 would be the formal genesis of it.
That's
but
correct.
Looking back to 1899, and part of your inauguration was a chance to elicit the goodwill and the support of the community, and they did so in a phenomenal way in the
Absolutely.
1899 Society. Could you say a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you,
time is running short.
Okay, so one of my visions when I came on board was to raise $1 million. And this is something for a lot of institutions that's a small bucket of money, but for Mercy College it had never been done. So we, in 3 months' time, were able to raise. We said $1 million, but we ended up raising $1.2 million as part of the presidential inauguration, our 1899 society. So we're excited and thank all of our generous donors for their help.
I think that's a barometer of how you've been received, how you've generated so much interest and awareness of the mission, and I think it's going to serve the community and ripple out throughout the Spirit Catholic Radio, Iowa Catholic Radio Network.
This has been another edition of Making It Personal with Bishop Joensen. Thank you for our listeners.
You can hear Making It Personal with Bishop William Joensen every week on Iowa Catholic Radio and iowacatholicradio.com.
Support for Iowa Catholic Radio and Making It Personal is provided by Sarah Vocations Ministry. Learn more at joinserra.org.